Hi everybody, I'm back with another episode of Chicken and Dumplings. So we're gonna get started. This is our ingredients for our dumplings. I have flour, plain flour. I have a teaspoon of salt. I have some chicken stock that I made. That's the only three ingredients going in our dumplings. We're gonna do rolled dumplings. Um, Other than that, I've got our pulled chicken meat right here. Carrots, fresh cut herbs. This is rosemary and thyme that I've cut up, chopped up. I'm trying to get everything on camera. It's not easy. Okay, homemade chicken stock, and then the fat from the chicken stock. Okay. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make our dumplings. Here's our flour. Here's our salt. Just going to put it right like that. And just mix it in. Okay, and then we're going to take chicken stock. I've warmed it up a little bit, and that's our liquid for our dumplings. Alright, just drizzle it in there. Take a spatula. Add a little more. It's going to come together and be tender yet come together in a ball, and then we can roll it out, but we don't want it too damp, so I'm going to add a little bit more. Got it on the stove. All right. More chicken stock. See it coming together. I'm going to end up using my hands. Okay. Put a little flour on my board. Get my dough, move it onto the board, and work it with my hands. A little bit more liquid. Just want to add a little bit at a time because you do not want to oversaturate your dough. All right, just a little excess off. Dough. Right. Take my rolling pin. I always like to dust it a little bit with flour. Okay. Gently roll the dough out. Like to be about a half an inch or so. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, now we're going to cut it, and I just cut it into strips. then I go back this way and just cut it into dumpling sized pieces. And you just want them bite size, you don't want them real big. Okay, we're going to let this sit and rest for a minute. While we work on our sauce. Alright, so over here, we've got the pan on the heat. Okay. I'm going to turn it on. Wipe my hands off. And right here, I've got a half a cup of the chicken fat. Put it right in the pan. And I've got flour. As soon as that heats up, I'm going to add the flour to make a roux, which a roux is just equal parts of flour and a fat that you cook together before you add your liquid in, and then it thickens your soup or stock or whatever you're making. Here's my chicken stock, all ready to go. Cover that for a minute. Okay. You want it to get hot before you put your flour in it. See it starting to get hot around the edges now. Okay, I'm going to add my flour. Sprinkle it in. So I did about a half a cup of each. I'll take my whip. I'm just going to add just a bit more fat. There we go. Now I'm going to start adding our stock. Whisking. And remember, when I made this stock, I made it really flavorful with onions and carrots, and celery, a lot of garlic, a lot of herbs. So it's got a lot of flavor. Got a little extra stock. We'll save it in case it gets a little thicker than we need, and we're just going to let that go for a minute. In the meantime, we are going to add just a little bit of chicken base. Gives it just a little bit of added flavor. I'm going to add a tablespoon to that. So whip it in. gonna grab my carrots, my chicken, my fresh herbs. Okay, this is like a cup of carrots. It goes in there. Just get a little texture, a little color. Next goes in my chicken. I've got 3 cups of chicken, already boned, poached like we did the other day. Okay, now I'm going to take a couple of pinches of my fresh rosemary and thyme. I'm not going to put it all in there. I cut like a teaspoon of each. So I put half of it in here. I'm a big fan of rosemary and thyme. Adds so much to chicken. Okay. Now, I'm going to make room for our cutting board so we can drop our dumplings in. Once you get everything set, this is a quick dish. Okay, now turn it down a little bit. Starting to just get a little bit texture, a little bit thickness to it. Now we're going to drop our dumplings into it. So there's our dumplings. It only took a second to make those. And it's really good. Just 3 ingredients and they're really, really good. Okay, so we're going to start dropping our dumplings in there. A little bit at a time. Stirring them in. Around, you know, and if I didn't put fresh herbs in this, I would have put parsley, dried parsley or fresh parsley for the color factor. Makes it look so good. You know, see, when you do drop dumplings, everybody gets dumplings, and you're not just tearing apart biscuit topping as you serve it. And I just think it's better. Now, if you didn't want to make your own, you can go to the freezer section and they sell soup dumplings, stew dumplings. But this didn't cost anything to make. Alright, just cut more pieces, put them in there. Okay, everything's in. Only took a couple of minutes. So now, turn it back up just for a second. I'm going to taste it, check my seasonings. I always keep spoons by my cook station. Taste the broth. It's really good. Alright. Now you can see the consistency it's getting. Good. Okay. I'm going to turn it down and I'm going to cover it. Okay. It's going to stay covered on low for about 15-20 minutes to get the rest of them cooked, to get them all cooked all the way through. And then it's done. It didn't take any time. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you got any questions, just ask me and I'll answer them. And I'll post a picture of it done underneath, so you don't have to wait 20 minutes. I'm not good at editing or going back and forth or anything yet, so I'm still trying to learn. So, but there it is, chicken and dumplings. Thanks.